We've been working on a series about the SKS rifle here on the channel, and we've done a review of the rifle, and we've done another video on the restoration of the stock, so you can go back and watch those. The next couple videos coming up are going to be a detailed disassembly of the SKS rifle and cleaning of all the cosmoline, which is the grease that they're packed and stored in, sometimes for decades. And in order to bring these rifles up to a functioning rifle, you have to go through the process of breaking them down and cleaning it. Now we're going to break this disassembly down into two videos. I'm not sure what order we're going to put them up in, but this one is going to be focusing on the bolt itself and the firing pin. Because just about every video I watch online about the SKS discusses the issue of slam fires, and that involves the firing pin sticking, where it's what's called a free floating firing pin. So there's no spring in the mechanism; it just rattles back and forth loosely. And if gunk gets in there that no longer allows that firing pin to move back and forth, it can cause what's known as a slam fire. Now, a slam fire happens when you have a magazine full of rounds and you're about to put your first round in, and you pull back on the charging handle and let it go forward, and if that pin has something keeping it from moving, that it's in the forward position, it can hit the first round and go off when you're not expecting it, and then because it's a semi-auto mechanism, it can come back and go forward again and potentially shoot off all the rounds that are in your magazine. So it can be a real safety issue. Now the good news is, however, if you watch a channel called Triangle 26, the lad over there knows these guns really, really well, and he's done a video about the same issue, and it is not something that is a design flaw or unsafe or unique to the SKS. Apparently many rifles share the design of a free floating firing pin, and really the problem comes in human error of people just not cleaning their rifle properly. And so today's video, we're going to take a dive into the bolt and the firing pin. I'm just going to use something here that I don't put my hands on it because I've got these cleaned up. Okay, so this is the mechanism here in my hand, and I'm going to show you how to disassemble them in detail for both Chinese and Russian variations. I haven't seen a video yet online that shows you the distinction between the two, because there are slight variations in the design and how you disassemble and reassemble these for cleaning. And I think this video is not going to be widely interesting to people, only to SKS owners out there. Over time maybe we'll get some views, and hopefully we will help people maintain their rifle and make it safe for operation, that there are no accidents that happen. So over on this one, we have the horseshoe style, and the flat side of this here pin faces the ejector. On the Chinese one over here, we have two flat sides, okay? The top here and this here side. Sorry about this. So that's the first thing. There's a difference in the shape of the pin, okay? Okay, now we're going to take a look at the Russian one, and we're going to get our hammer and our punch set, and we're going to punch this out. Okay, so I have these nice roll pin punches here so that I don't damage anything. And this pin has been out before, so we'll just take our hammer here. I'll put this in the vise. Okay, you can probably see here we've got it in the vise, and I've just got a piece of paper towel underneath it there. Okay, so now I'm going to take my punch and line it up over top of there. There. There you can see the hole is open through there. We've got our little pin right here, and that now is going to allow us to pull the firing pin all the way out. So we're going to take this back inside and then we'll go from there. Now we're about to pull out the firing pin, and this pushes out here through the back. There we go. It's hard to get a grip of because of the grease, but now, yeah, you could see all that cosmoline down in there. And that's keeping this bolt from moving on its own. As we pull this here out, the firing pin, it comes out through the back. This one here actually has its flats on this side. There's a flat and a flat here, and all there is a little groove here at the top of this firing pin, and that groove is what the flat side of the pin goes over top of to hold this firing pin in place. So this is a different design firing pin here than the Russian model. The Russian model has that little cutout piece here. This one here, the Chinese model, has the two little bumps there on the top and bottom. So hopefully this will help if there's any confusion as you pull apart your SKS and clean this out to avoid any slam fires. If you have these chambers clean along the bolts here, then you shouldn't have any problems at all. But you don't want to leave the cosmoline in there that the rifle originally comes with. I'm going to clean this up really good again here on this Russian one before I put it back together. What I'll do first is spray a little bit of WD-40 down this, right through the hole there. Maybe put a bit on my Q-tips. Okay, and then we're going to run our Q-tip in from the back end and right down through that hole. Yeah, I can get that right to the end there. You can see how dirty that came out. We'll run another one down just to make sure that we've got that clean. Okay, that's looking better. Do the face. Okay, there it is. Okay, so we're probably pretty clean now, coming down through there. Next, I'll put in a little bit of this Remington dry lube. I like to do the internals with this stuff because it prevents any kind of rusting. Now, I'm going to make sure this is clean. Let's go with a little bit of the WD-40. Just make sure all the fouling is off of this and grease. Okay, that should do. And then this as well, I'm going to just do with this stuff. Now again, this is going to slide in with that groove facing up. It can't go down, it has to go up to line up with the pin. So there's your firing pin situated. Then we've got to flip around to this side. And we're going to take our pin here, and with the flat side of the pin facing down, okay, the flat side of the head of the pin facing the ejector rod. That's the two distinctions. Flat side facing down to slide over top of the firing pin, and flat side of the head faces the ejector rod right there. And then I want to line that up as best I can, and we'll give that a shot with the hammer here or something. My firing pin now, you can hear that. It's free floating in there, exactly how we want it. So that's the Russian, and now the Chinese. Grab our firing pin. I'm running out of stuff there. And put a coating of that on. Now the pointy end of the firing pin is what has to come out through the face, the bolt face. You want to push your pin all the way through to where it sticks out this side, and then you can look through the hole, and if I rotate this, you can see right there the flat is up, but the hole is obstructed. You see that little piece of material sticking up in there. If I continue to rotate this around to the other way, now the flat side is up again, and now the hole is clear. So that's how you know which way this pin has to go in on the Chinese style. And this is a late 70s model type triangle 26 SKS. So make sure that your pin is facing the right way, and it's one of the flat surfaces here on the firing pin faces up, and you know which one faces up based on when you rotate it, which side obstructs the hole and which side doesn't. And that's based on this one here on the top and this one here on the bottom. Apologies for the gloves, it makes it pretty hard to point here at things, but I'm trying to keep my acid on my fingers off of all these parts so that when I put it back together I know there's nothing there that can cause problems. Once you have your flat section lined up properly, which side it is that goes up, and there it's lined up right now that the hole is clear, the shape of the hole itself in here is rounded all the way around except the bottom has a little bit of a flat. So the flat side of the pin right here, it's on the bottom, that faces down to slide over top of the firing pin, the flat side of the firing pin, and then the flat side of the head goes along the top and facing the ejector, and you've got a little curve down in this bottom left hand corner. Okay, so we're going to line that up, and then I can almost push that in with my thumb. Okay, I'm going to get the hammer again here and drive that home. Okay, and there it is. Now, I have to take this apart again if I want to show the ejector. Damn it. With your pin out, you can push this ejector. There's a little spring down in here. You can push it in that direction and it'll release it from over that little lip that connects it right there. So you pull that up, and then you want to clean the cosmoline that's in this here area. So that's what we'll do now. Little shot of that stuff. Okay, I'm going to grab a Q-tip and do a good job on that and on the little arm here. So here's the ejector. I'm going to be real careful around that spring. And then just make sure it's cleaned off here. So there, just spray my little components. I'm going to spray in here as well. Okay, and then this here, you're just going to drive it in, line it up with the groove. Oh. So the spring pushes in against that wall there, and then just push it in until it hooks, just like so. So now the ejector is in there properly. And there we have a nice cleaned up bolt and firing pin, free floating. Won't have any problems now with slam fires. Nothing inherently wrong with the design of the SKS. It's mostly people's neglect and not cleaning the cosmoline out that's caused the problems. Lastly, I'm just going to take a little bit of regular gun oil and drop this down here. Just a drop in there to help ensure that that stays greased and protected and moving well. Take this stuff and spray the whole thing over, and then it's ready to go back in the rifle. There we have it. Russian bolt and firing pin, Chinese bolt and firing pin. I hope that helps you guys to clarify the difference between the two if anyone was having trouble. Most of the videos I watched online seem to reference the Russian bolt and firing pin design, so I'm glad I could do a video that would distinguish between the two. We're going to come at you our next video with the rest of the full disassembly and cleanup of the SKS. Like and subscribe. Cheers.